Thank you. Thank you very much. When I found out, or when it dawned on me that Abraham was not called until he was 80, I was 75. And even Moses, the great Moses, 80, that's when he was called. So I just found out that I should do more. God bless you. Yes. Next slide, please. Yes, this is the report of the ICT committee, District ICT Committee. Our vision is to leverage technology for seamless communication, efficient operations, and enhanced member engagement in Southwest 7 District. I will just mention briefly the operational structure which we have in place. And that's one of the first things we did, was to set up operational teams that are autonomous, so to speak. And as I speak now, the teams are on autopilot. They work virtually on their own. We have the social media marketing team, the audiovisual live streaming. That's the team that is hosting this, covering this event. We have the software/data management team that is involved in the implementation of the Full Gospel Portal, and then the technical support, which is a standby team that provides support to any committee or whatever that needs support from our committee. What I have done is just to briefly summarize our vision, what I call ICT goals and objectives for 2024. And as I mentioned them, I will specify where we are on each of those. So first is to ensure optimum availability and operational efficiency of our district ICT infrastructure. That I would say, and of course this includes making sure our systems are maintained, software and hardware, those that have licenses are renewed. And on the software side, for instance, the district website, we have make sure that is supported and maintained, and the hosting and the domain names renewed at untimely. So I would say that's accomplished, fully accomplished, and also ongoing, because this is what we have to do perpetually. The next item we have there on our agenda for this year is video recording and live streaming of all major district events. And I would say that from the beginning of this year, every single district event has been recorded and live streamed. And we also hope and pray that all our remaining programs will also be recorded or live streamed as the district wishes. We have every tool to do that. And I also want to say that we are also ready for our board meetings. If the DC wishes that all exhortations during board meetings should be recorded, we are ready to do that. The third is, which I consider that's a vision that God gave to me, that we should think about having our own, because we are very good on audio. Our audio is one of the best. So part of what we have for this year is to have a creative and cost-effective acquisition. Do a kind of creative and cost-effective acquisition of premium live streaming / video recording assets for the district, so that we don't need to rent equipment and we don't need to depend on some other third party when you have events. And I want to say, by the special grace of God, that is fully accomplished. As at this time, fully accomplished. Going forward, all district programs, we don't need to rent anything from anybody. We only need to carry what we have to that venue. Yes. Including the national convention that is coming. Every equipment that will be used will belong to the district, except, of course, CD screen. The next is effective promotion of district events on our social media platform. Our social media team is very active, and they work on their own. In fact, just 2 days ago, so I attended their meetings. They don't even involve us in what they do. So they work directly with chapters and work with different committees. So I would say for this plan to have effective promotion of our district events on our social media platform is accomplished. Of course, it's still ongoing too. So next slide, please. Then the second part of this is successful implementation and adoption of FGBMFI Nigeria Online Portal in the district. It is an ongoing project. The portal, most of us here are familiar with this portal. We've run trainings, and as we speak now, we have, in fact, as I went to use the restroom, a field rep met me there and said he still needs to meet me, and I just mentioned to him, we have somebody in your zone that can attend to you. He asked me the name, I told him. So we have built up men in every zone. A lot of our chapters, we have champions in every zone that can assist. And I also want to say that we had a national seminar, a national workshop on this portal sometime last month, end of last month. And at that meeting, it was revealed that I didn't know that Southwest 7 is far ahead of every other district. That we are the only district that has enrolled, onboarded fully all our officers. All our officers. And in registration of members, enrollment of members, we are far ahead of every other district. In fact, we are ready to go on this portal. So by the grace of God, I believe that we should be 100% online very shortly. The next is which we have here, which is the last on this, successful, that's still ongoing, but we've done quite a lot. Next is, please, go back. Yes, thank you. Effective coverage and delivery of exceptional convention experience at our DCC for 2024. Preparations are ongoing, but I want to announce to you that we are working day and night to ensure that we have an improvement over what we had 2022. And like I said, every equipment that we use, we have redundancy in every department. And all the assets are coming from the district. The entire team will come from the district. The last convention, we used some external hands. But this time, every person that will be involved in that coverage will come from the district. And we thank God for that. So preparations are top-notch, ongoing. We are still working hard. We cannot relent until it is fully executed. And then finally, on this segment, I want to say that the last thing I want to talk about here is design and delivery of custom-tailored training programs to enhance the capacity building of the ICT committee members and also the entire members of this fellowship. Yes, ICT committee, because they have special assignment they want to do. But for our members, it is important that we impart capacity of our members, we build capacity and enhance capacity of those who already have some capacity. Because when they work for this fellowship, if they acquire skills they use for this fellowship, the same skills will also be deployed for their own work, their own personal activities, and that also will improve their standing. So we want to say that this year, that we are going to make sure that we have, probably in this next quarter, or even in this quarter, after the convention, we are going to put together and run a training that will be beneficial to all our members. Next slide, please. Yes. What are the challenges we have? Now we have challenges and future direction. One of the most critical challenges we have is we have dearth of skilled professionals. Many of the skilled professionals are not available. They can show up in meetings like this. Many of them will show up But when we meet to plan this work, pre-event planning, trainings, capacity building, many of them don't show up. Many of them are very busy. So, but the way God works, when God calls you, He doesn't look at what skills you have. He calls you and prepares you. The way I look at this work, I've never done anything. I've never been interested in photography or video or anything. But when I was given this post, I saw myself as Bezalel. And I got some help that were given to me, and all the men here are ordinary men, like fishermen, but they are the people doing this work. Accountants. Every people from diverse fields are involved in this work. And that's the grace of God that drives this work. But we are still appealing to those of us that have skills. They should come and train us, because we are just learning on our own. We are like going to night school to be able to run some of these things. Number 2 is persistent low engagement of officers and members on social media platforms. Our officers, many of them don't belong. Social media is no more for, people think it's just for young people, for Gen Zs. It's for everybody. Presidents of countries. When Biden wants to make a statement, every president, every prime minister, their first statement comes on Twitter. So all of us should be there, businessmen. No business that is not on social media that will survive in the era we are going into. So I want to encourage us so that we can build traction on our platforms. Attract people, that publicity is when we put out promos, people will latch onto it. We need to build our posts to rev on the on internet. Finally, on the challenges, it's not, challenges don't end, but just the ones I see as limited appreciation of ICT benefits in district operations, especially at chapter level. This has been ongoing. And that's why we need this appreciation training, this capacity building, so that a lot of us will begin to, especially as the portal is coming. If many of us, just for fear that this thing, they don't even know how it's going to turn out, and they just back out. So with proper training and engagement, many of them will come on board. So that's some of the things we want to achieve through training. Then we'll now go to future direction. Where do we look to go from here? We want to strengthen the district ICT infrastructure with leading edge innovative technology. Technology changes every day. What you do today, you want to do tomorrow. If you are not following up, you'll probably be wasting your time going back and so we need to be on top of our game. And number 2 is to create awareness campaigns to showcase the impact of digital transformation in our ministry and work. We need to always find opportunities to show what technology can do for you, especially what we are achieving. You know, ICT committee at national level is already called ICT / online outreaches. And the district, you're already working towards that. You're already working because almost all our chapters, a lot of our chapters, all their meetings are run live. Beginning of this year, we sent out basic requirements. The least components you need to have to stream your meetings live, and we encourage them to have their Facebook pages as long as they are aligned to the policy of the district, policy of national. So we want to ensure that people begin to, be aware of this, the impact of digital transformation to our lives and this ministry we are going into. The next is we want to enhance capacity building programs for our members and staff. I've spoken to that before. That's part of going forward. You can never have enough of training. In fact, training is a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong event, practice that you have to do all the rest of your life. So, and finally, in this segment, we talk about extend digital transformation of district operations with evolving technology. The things we are already doing now, we think we are on top. We have to use evolving technology to extend, to go beyond what we can see today. Yes. Let's have the next slide. And this is the last slide. This next slide, which I call conclusion, is just appreciation. You know, we want to acknowledge the unprecedented encouragement and support we received from the DC. There is nothing we have spoken here that would have been here if not for the DC. DC will call me, okay, what camera, how many cameras do you have? Okay, what of light? Is this light enough? Okay, what of this? I say, sir, we have one, let us try it. If it doesn't do well, we look for another one. I have never seen, in fact, at times I'm afraid to write something because there's nothing I write he will not approve. So I try to hold myself back because of the way he's pushing the work. And we gratefully appreciate what you've done. God will continue to bless you. What we see here is the vision of the DC. What we are just doing, we are implementing. He's the visionary for this work we are doing. And of course, I also want to appreciate our board members. A lot of them privately have intervened, encouraged us, and continue to appreciate what we are doing and try to encourage us and bring suggestions. And of course, the staff. The staff of this office. Early this year, when I saw what will happen, when you call meeting, somebody will be highly recommended, he comes to the committee, and then the next day you call him, he say, he's a good to be here. In fact, one of our best men that is in this team has not been able to, for the last couple of engagements, he hasn't been able to come. In fact, he sent a note to me, begging me that his whole Saturdays have been sold out. I'm just begging him to please keep the convention Saturdays open. So that's the challenges we have. But God gave me that vision this year. Bring everybody in that office. We came here, saw Kingsley doing this in an accountant, doing audio. I call them individually. If Kingsley can do this, you can do this. That is probably this work that Kingsley is doing that took him where he is today. That it may not be the accountancy work. Today, our chief cameraman that can be truly compared to Peter Obi is Mr. Ifreke Esen. Peter Obe, yes? Is it Peter Obe? Yes. Not Peter Obi, Obe. So, manager is our chief engineer. He puts everything together. He can assemble all the cameras, carry all the cables. Above all, he's the one that takes inventory of everything. He locks them in his office. Even me, I cannot get in there if manager is not there. Of course, OBJ has been understudying Kingsley all his life. So OBJ is stepping into Kingsley's shoes. So we are so blessed that we have these men. Because they work here, they are available 24/7. When we come for training, at times we stay there till late in the night. None of them complains. And we are very grateful. Finally, on this, we want to appreciate, I want to appreciate the sacrificial contributions and hard work of our committee members. Many of them work very hard to, in their various teams. And whilst this work is not very stressful because the teams are autonomous and on autopilot. So we appreciate their contributions and the sacrifice they make. There's one young man that's always available. He's up there now. Moses is probably the youngest person in this meeting, but always available and can play many roles. Of course, Kingsley is always there with us, wherever we go. Finally, we want to give God Almighty all the glory for this modest accomplishment. It's God that made all this possible. First he put his Holy Spirit upon us, and then he put all manner of skills upon us. So we give him all the glory. God bless you.